Hey everybody, welcome back. Today, let's do my 1 month postpartum update. So it is now, I think, actually 30 days since birth, and I'm feeling freaking great, actually. Things have been going really, really well. I want to do a whole video on like my C-section experience, so I'll kind of just gloss over that aspect of it because I want to go in depth on how the whole process was and then like actual healing for that and everything. But just my overall well-being and stuff, let's talk about that. Uh, the first 3 days that I was in the hospital was a little rough. It definitely was sore. It was a lot of sleep deprivation. I was a cranky girl. But I feel a lot better now. The doctors even remarked while I was in the hospital, like on day 2, I was up moving around, like basically hopping in and out of bed because it was quite a tall bed and they couldn't lower it anymore. And they were surprised that I was able to, get up and move around like I was. And the day that I was discharged, we went from the hospital directly to Walmart. I went in by myself, did some shopping, got us some groceries and stuff while my husband stayed outside in the car with our baby and everything. So I felt pretty good even just leaving the hospital. The first week at home, whew, the swelling was rough. That was pretty painful, like in my legs, just because there was so much like water retention that it just hurt to like walk and be on my feet and stuff. But that has gone down. Actually, I think it was around 10 days postpartum, all the swelling was gone. And then around 2 weeks postpartum, I was able to get my rings back on. This one is even pretty loose. My wedding ring was always kind of tight because I didn't want it to fall off, but even that one has some like free play with it. And I was really glad to be able to get those back on because I was a little afraid that my fingers would just stay swollen and I would never be able to wear them again. So that was not a good thing. I'm really glad that that finally went down and that I was able to shove them back on. And in terms of just like the C-section scar, it's looking pretty good. I think in that C-section video, I'll show you like a final like look of what the scar looks like at that many days postpartum. Whenever I film it, I'll probably film it a little bit later this week. But I'll make sure to put it at the end in case you don't want to see that. In terms of the actual like pain, I feel no pain on the outside. It does actually feel a little bit numb if I just touch the actual like incision area. Inside, sometimes I feel like a little bit sore, but I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I've had allergies pretty freaking bad the past like week, and I've been having to blow my nose a lot, sneeze a lot, and it's engaging those muscles. So aside from a little bit of mild soreness, I'm really good. The first few days at home also, I feel like I did have a little bit of baby blues, which was weird to me because like it wasn't even like I was sad like about, not being pregnant anymore or like whatever, but there was just so many times where I just burst into tears because it just felt like so much emotion, like whether it be good emotion or bad emotion, it was just so much. Like for instance, I think it was maybe the second day that we were actually home with him by ourselves, and my husband had went down the street literally 2 minutes away to the Walgreens to pick up my prescriptions, and I tripped, but almost fell while I was carrying him. And I freaked the F out. Like, I just lost it because all I could think of was, oh my God, I almost hurt him. Like, what if this had happened? What if that had happened? And I was just like a sobbing, crying mess. Like, literally just like, just sitting on the couch, like almost howling because I was just so upset that I had like effed up, And then my husband like called while he was, on the way, and he's like, I'll be there in a minute. And he's like, why are you crying? And I was like, I almost fell. And it's so funny looking back on it, but I was like very, very upset with myself in that moment. And now I'm like, why would I have been upset about that? You know, like, of course it would have been really bad if I'd fallen, but I didn't. So that was a bit of an overreaction. And like, I woke up in the middle of the night a few nights ago, and you know, the baby sleeps in the crib and our dogs sleep on our bed. And I was in that like weird limbo of like half awake, half asleep, because I heard him kind of fussing, and I was like, okay, I need to check on him. And I felt something in the bed next to me, and I was like, oh my God, did I wake up and like bring him in bed with me, like not knowing what I was doing, you know, because he's never been in our bed. So I was thinking like, wow, was I that tired that I like brought him in bed with me, you know, thinking that I was putting him in the crib or something. And I'm like, I'm touching it. I'm like, oh my God, he's on the side of the bed that's like closest to the edge. I was like, I gotta save him, you know, and I'm touching him, and then I grabbed onto his tail, and I was like, wow, crap, the baby grew a tail. And that was my thought process, was the baby grew a tail, not that it was the dog. So of course it was our dachshund, who usually sleeps next to me, and whenever I grabbed her tail, she took off, and I thought to myself, oh my God, he's moving. It still did not click with me that it was the dog and not the baby. So that was really funny whenever I finally like came to my senses. So I've had just some of those like almost like brain fart type of things where I'm like, wait a minute, what? And I think a lot of that is the sleep deprivation, because I am pretty tired. I'm usually okay once I like wake up and have some coffee and I start the day. But then like once I go to bed, I could stay up for like 48 hours. But once I go to bed and I start to sleep, it is just like, whoo, I am in like a no man's land. So luckily my husband gets up a lot in the middle of the night to do the middle of the night feedings. Thank God for him. But, you know, we're doing pretty good. We're in a pretty good rhythm. You know, he stays up for a lot of the night, and then I get up in the morning and kind of do like all the daytime stuff. But even during the daytime, he still takes care of some of the feeding so that I can go and shower, or just, you know, have some time to edit or do whatever. So that's been pretty good. Weirdly enough, I have worn makeup like every single day almost since we came home. So like every day in the past month. But it's more just to like film and work on our channels. I haven't done a whole lot of filming for this channel. I'm trying to get back into the swing of that. But our other channels, we've been trying to put some effort into those, because honestly, it's just easier to film those videos. Less, you know, like editing. They're not as long because I tend to go on and on and on in my videos. But if you guys are interested, I'll leave the links down below to our other channels. We've been working on Pop Delight a lot, so that's like celebrity news and gossip, and we have a few others. So if you want to check those out, please and thank you. But aside from that, I'm feeling good. You know, I feel like I look pretty good. My skin has gotten a lot better. I have only had one breakout, like actually like one blemish, which during my pregnancy, it was all the freaking time. Oh, in terms of weight gain and weight loss, I am actually below my pre-pregnancy weight now. So by the time that I got into the hospital, I had gained 16 pounds by the time that I went to the hospital to deliver. And then by the time that I left the hospital, I was up 20 pounds. So I gained 4 pounds in the hospital, even though I had just delivered. And he was 5 pounds. And that was because there was so much water retention from all the IV fluids that they gave me. So 4 days after being discharged from the hospital, I was down 14 pounds. And then another 3 days later, so 1 week postpartum, I was down to my pre-pregnancy weight. And then now currently a month postpartum, I am 8 pounds below my pre-pregnancy weight. So yay me. Hopefully I can keep that up. I haven't really been like dieting or anything. I haven't even worked out, but I think just now not having pregnancy cravings, not eating so many Pop-Tarts has just, you know, helped the weight just like shed. And I'm not breastfeeding, so that's not the culprit. I just I'm eating better now, I guess. And honestly, half the time I don't even have time to eat because literally every evening, as soon as we like make dinner, we'll feed him and put him down like before we make dinner. And as soon as the food hits the table, he is fussing and wants to be held. And so most of the time I'm holding him in one arm and trying to eat with the other. And in the mornings especially, it's like it's time to feed him as soon as I wake up. And then by the time that I feed him, I'm kind of like, ugh, crap. It's like, it might as well be lunchtime. It's like a couple hours until lunch. I'm not going to bother to like eat a big breakfast. So then I just have like coffee or something. So, I mean, I guess that is kind of dieting in that I'm not eating as much, but I'm not trying. But anyway, back to my pre-pregnancy weight and then some. So 8 pounds below pre-pregnancy. My stomach looks exactly like it did before pregnancy. I was fat to begin with, and I already had like a gut to begin with. So my stomach literally looks no different. So there's where we're at with that. That sounded like a very strange sentence. What else? We've been out with the baby a lot. Like we went out with him whenever he was like only a few days old because we needed to get a faucet to replace our old faucet. It was like an emergency. And we wanted to go and like pick it out together and like kind of figure out what we needed for it together. So he went out to Home Depot with us. He's been out to Walmart with us. Like, I guess we're just not the type that is just like gonna sit at home for 2 months or whatever and wait for him to be old enough. Like we bundled him up, we covered the carrier with, a blanket and we took him out. So it worked out fine. He hasn't gotten sick yet or anything. He's doing great. I guess just to do his 1 month update as well, he went to the doctor a couple days ago and he was 5 pounds, 14 ounces at birth. He's now 8 pounds, and a quarter. So I guess that would be 8 pounds, 4 ounces. So he's put on some weight. He was 19 and a quarter inches whenever he was born. Now he is 20 and 3/4 inches. And, what else? What else do they measure? I forget. His umbilical cord fell off. That fell off around 2 weeks postpartum. He's been doing tummy time and most of the time he enjoys it. He has been like, getting some good like lifting going on. He is not like sleeping through the night or anything, but usually we can get like a 3-hour stretch out of him at night. Sometimes during the daytime, but during the day, a lot of the times it's like every 2 hours that he wants to feed. And I feel like his personality is coming out a little bit more now. Like he is not giving us a true smile yet, but he's kind of like, making some faces at us and stuff. And like the other day I was blowing on his face, like just real gentle, like, and whenever I would do it, he was like, like as if he was being blown over by a strong wind. And he kind of like, made like a little, ooh, and that was really funny. But this morning we had our first like true blowout, which was freaking hilarious. Like this is the thing that I did not expect with being a parent is that, and maybe this is just how our personality was to begin with, but we find his bathroom habits super funny. So anytime he has like a messy, like messed up diaper, or like the blowout this morning, we take so much enjoyment out of like kind of like making fun of it and stuff. So, better that than I guess being like annoyed with the whole thing. And we're just having so much fun like with him, and like being able to kind of make fun of him. Like we make fun of each other a lot and stuff. So, whenever he does something weird, we'll kind of like poke fun at him and stuff. So, I like to think that he will grow up with our like sense of humor, and have fun with everything rather than being too serious about it. So we're just really enjoying it. And I do want to do like a full like 24 hours with a newborn vlog. I'm going to try to film that maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll film that. It's just so daunting to think about though, having to like grab the camera for, every little thing, but we'll see if I can manage it. And maybe then you guys can see kind of some of the things that go on around here. But I don't know, I guess that's all of my 1 month postpartum update and a little bit of his. He's sleeping right now, so I did not want to go and drag him down here because I need my me time too. So that's it. I guess that kind of sums it up. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you have not already, and check out our other channels if you feel like it. If you just want to pass some time with some different content. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye.